Meeting will begin. Before we start, I'd like to go around the room, see if there's any blessings to share or prayer requests before we pray. Anyone else? Amen. Thank you. Have any guests to recognize this morning? All right. Need a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Motion been made. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I believe Commissioner Simmons, you have a presentation to make.
I do, Mr. Chairman. Let me just say how pleased I am to be on the agenda this morning to make this presentation. And this is a special presentation coming from Commissioner Caldwell and I, because we have had distinct honor over the past 4 years to serve under the leadership of a great man, Commissioner King. And Commissioner King has been one that I have known for many years because we served together in the Mississippi State Senate. But prior to serving in the Senate, we both are veterans, so we have a lot in common. And this is a person who has worked hard for the state of Mississippi. He's given a lot. I'm proud of him because of the fact that I've been able to follow in his footstep, being in the Senate and then coming to serve with him on the commissioner. I think you represented the state better as a commissioner than you did as a senator because you could never get any additional appropriation passed in the Senate for the Department of Transportation, but you came to the Department of Transportation and decided how to make soup out of what the Department of Transportation had. And under your leadership, the Department of Transportation has grown tremendously in the way of stabilizing itself with staff, but also in developing a relationship with the legislative body where they stop kicking the can down the road, so to speak, and start giving the Department of Transportation much needed resources. So you'll be remembered for that. And again, as a member of the commissioner, having served with you both in the Senate and here, and being a veteran, a good comrade, also of Commissioner Caldwell, let me just say how much we appreciate you. And we would just like to make a presentation to you following comments from Commissioner Caldwell.
Thank you, Commissioner. And unlike Commissioner Simmons, who knew you for years, I didn't know anybody coming down here. So it was a great pleasure to come here and be welcomed. Commissioner King served as a mentor for me and certainly kept me in check at times when I needed to be kept in check. But, people ask me about who I'm serving with, and when it comes to Commissioner King, one of the first things I'll tell them, that's a great American. Commissioner King, couldn't say enough about, matter of fact, right after I took office and came in and met you and met Commissioner Simmons, we had a pandemic hit. And so we went through some unusual times together, and it was certainly an honor and pleasure. And looking forward to hearing great things about how retirement is. So we can follow in your footsteps in that area as well. So
Thank you, gentlemen. I
Mr.
appreciate
Chairman, if we may, we would like to recognize Amy to read a portion of the proclamation, resolution.
Legislation for Tom King Lieutenant's retirement from the Transportation Commission. Whereas Tom King was elected to 3 terms to 76 Transportation Commission beginning in 2012, serving 27 counties with a population of roughly 1 million people. And whereas during his 12 years, he has been instrumental in many accomplishments across the southern district, from the opening of Mississippi's first automatic train to the Albertville, to the new Evelyn Landing Interchange project with I-59 in Forest County, and the pavement restoration and interstate improvement project in I-55 and Piketon. Whereas our transportation infrastructure has greatly benefited from his knowledge, expertise, and cooperation. The commission and the residents of Mississippi are indebted to him for his hard work, perseverance, and unremitting dedication to the betterment of Mississippi's transportation infrastructure. Be it further resolved that he be congratulated on his retirement with best wishes for his future endeavors.
Thank you, and we could. We would like to make a presentation and get a photograph, and also just note that under your leadership, the Department of Transportation received the largest budget ever, $1.4 billion. Thank you.
Thank you.
while we're catching our seats, I noticed when we were reading the proclamation, we do talk about the things he's done in South Mississippi, but Commissioner King was also instrumental in many projects across the state, Central Mississippi, North Mississippi. And, they don't happen by osmosis. It does take a team. It takes a lot of effort. I ride several of them continually, some new interstate lane miles, I-269 in particular, some of the widening in I-55. And so I-22 and what used to be Highway 78. So a lot of things are happening that's statewide that Commissioner King's been involved in. And like I said, we kind of focus on our districts a lot, but it's a statewide endeavor and statewide success. So thank you again.
Thank you, gentlemen, for those kind words. I appreciate it. It's been an honor to serve as commissioner, and it's, you can't say anything about thanking my spouse for putting up with me for 19 years of the legislature and 12 here, so that's enough. So it's been it's an honor, and again, those kind words were very nice, but you can't do anything by yourself. And we've got a great team here, and Amy's a great assistant, and just Brad been doing a great job. But I can just keep on naming people. We're like a big family here, and you find that out when you join the family. So it's been great. I appreciate it all, and thank you all for supporting me and supporting this commission. Thank you. Okay, down to business. Unfinished business, Amy.
Number 3, authorize the executive director to execute and work assignment of the traffic contract with the traffic agency to perform up to 770 vehicle classification counts and up to 2,060 vehicle volume counts. Project execution. The amount of work assignment will not exceed $492,720. Number 4, authorize the executive director to execute the work assignment with the traffic services contract with Federal Traffic Services to perform up to 900 vehicle classification counts Next to 14 under vehicle bonding account, the project is to statewide. The amount of work assignment will not exceed $524,884. Number 5, authorize the executive director to execute supplemental agreement number 1 to the 2021 Environmental Compliance Insurance Program for maintenance services, IBIQ master contract. To extend the contract services from December 31st, 2023 to December 31st, 2025, at which time no new work assignment shall be commenced with the following terms. This agreement will also increase the maximum dollar amount to the master contract from $1 million to $1,250,000 per term. This contract was approved by the Commission on February 9th, 2021, at the City of Minnesota 22 and State 2.
Okay. Reconstruction, Kobe.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Number 6, authorize the executive director to execute work assignment number 7, effective July 1st, 2023, under the Bridge Services Master Contract with HDR Engineering to develop standard pre-stressed beam details for MDOT under the listed project numbers statewide. The amount of the work assignment will not exceed $93,459.95. Number 7, authorize the executive director to approve the listed utility agreements. Number 8, authorize the executive director to execute a quitclaim deed conveying 8.67 acres of uneconomic remnant property along State Route 9 in Pontotoc County under the listed project and parcel numbers to Shane McGee, adjoining property owner, in exchange for payment in the amount of $35,750. Number 9, authorize the executive director to execute supplemental agreement number 6 to the engineering services contract with Stantec Consulting Services to modify the median left turn design of crossovers at various locations and the intersection design of 3 intersections on US 90 from State Route 609 to Dolphin Drive under the listed project numbers in Jackson County. The amount of the supplemental agreement will not exceed $268,340.03 for a revised total contract amount of $2,792,702.54. Number 10, authorize the executive director to execute work assignment number 8 under the Bridge Services Master Contract with HCR Engineering to provide design review services for the Phase B design calculations and plans developed by MDOT for the replacement of the listed bridge on State Route 42 over Bohoma Creek under the listed project numbers in Perry County. The amount of the work assignment will not exceed $220,045.46. Number 11, authorize the executive director to execute work assignment number 6 under the Bridge Services Master Contract with Stantec Consulting Services to provide Phase C design and review construction engineering services for the replacement of 3 existing bridges on State Route 16, State Route 149 over the Yazoo River floodway under the listed project numbers in Yazoo County. The amount of the work assignment will not exceed $108,316.84. Number 12, authorize the executive director to execute work assignment number 8 under the Bridge Services Master Contract with Volkert to provide bridge repair site visits and Phase A conceptual plans for the repair and encasement of deteriorated bridge pilings for a total of 121 bridges located in MDOT districts 1, 2, 3, and 7 under the listed project numbers statewide. The amount of the work assignment will not exceed $357,919.41. And number 13, authorize the executive director to execute work assignment number 6 under the Hydraulic Engineering Services Master Contract with Garber to provide Phase A bridge hydraulic design and recommendations for the State Route 25 bridge replacements under the listed project numbers in Tishomingo County. The amount of the work assignment will not exceed $233,472.99.
Mr. Simmons has a question.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Kobe, item number 11, and it could apply in others. My question is, when we doing this project, these are 3 bridges on 149. Could we do some in the PR statement that normally goes with projects like this in some kind of cases to indicate the alternate route that would be recommended by us, created by us, so that the general public will know that we're not directing traffic onto the county roads that's not capable of handling that traffic. Especially since we have an alternative route that's gonna be in the plan that would be utilized in our highways and not county. And I'm asking that because I don't want the county to come back and feel that we have torn up the highways and need to replace them in the county.
Yes, sir. I'm sure we can work with public affairs and show them the detour routes and get something put out.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Operations, Jim Willis.
Morning.
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 Number 14, authorize the executive director to execute a contract with the Mississippi Association of Planning and Development Districts to sponsor exhibit booth space at the 2024 MAPDD Annual Conference in Biloxi for an amount not to exceed $1,250. Number 15, authorize the executive director to execute indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity master contracts with the following firms for intelligent transportation system services statewide. The maximum amount that can be charged by each firm per this master contract will be $1,500,000. Commission action will be required for work assignments that exceed $100,000. The termination date for executing new work assignments under this contract will be December 31st, 2026.
Field operations, Billy Owen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Number 16, authorize the acceptance of $59,202.01 from Progressive Gulf Insurance Company on behalf of William and Carter Powell as full settlement of damage to the lighting on I-59 northbound at the Highway 98 Hardy Street exit in Lamar County for the listed project number, and authorize the executive director to execute the necessary release or other appropriate settlement documents. Number 17, authorize the executive director to grant approval for the MDOT litter prevention program to sponsor booth space at the following two events. Number 18, authorize the executive director to execute a small purchase contract effective April 17th, 2023 with Duval Decker Architects to provide design development services based upon the schematic design for the redevelopment of the Warren County Welcome Center on I-20 for the listed project number in Warren County. The amount of the contract will not exceed $246,154.45. And number 19, award of construction bids per staff recommendations from the November 28th and December 5th lettings.
Thank you.
Got one question.
Question.
And that's actually for next month, but we were on schedule for I think a bridge letting for Yonke River Bridge. Is that still on schedule for next month?
I'll check on it and let you know.
LPA, Lee Frederick.
Good morning.
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 Number 20, authorize the executive director to execute a memorandum of agreement between the commission and a listed local public agency in order to establish responsibilities for the development of the following project: Jackson County Board of Supervisors. Number 21, upon the receipt of all necessary documentation from the local public agency, request concurrence with the listed LPA recommendation to award the construction bid on the following project: the town of Summerall.
21, I have a question. Now, why did it take so long? Wasn't our fault? Was it the city's fault?
Yes, sir. So it actually came in over budget, and they were scrambling around trying to find the extra funds to make the project go.
Okay.
And they finally got all that worked out.
It was a light project ahead of this project.
Yes, yes, sir. But we finally got it across the line. Number 22, authorize the executive director to concur in LPA supplemental agreement number 4 on the listed project between Gulf Breeze Construction and the city of Goshen in Jackson County. This agreement adds the necessary excavation pay items to provide adequate base material for the project. This agreement also adds additional 65 working days for a total of 442 working days to complete the required excavation, as well as additional drainage improvements near the Riverbend Apartments. The total for this agreement is $1,035,600 for a revised project cost of $8,706,994.90. Number 23, authorize the executive director to concur in LPA supplemental agreement number 4 on the listed project between Maloof Construction, LLC, and the Yalobusha County Board of Supervisors in Yalobusha County. This agreement adds the necessary pay items to address unforeseen conditions in constructing a permanent drill shaft. This agreement also adds an additional 19 working days for a total of 464 working days. The total for this agreement is $321,244.58 for a revised project cost of $16,690,655.23. Number 24, authorize the executive director to execute a replacement memorandum of agreement between the commission and the listed local public agency in order to establish responsibilities for the development of the following project: Wildlife Mississippi.
Question.
Just a question on the TAP grant timeline. Are we recommendations early January?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Staff is in the process of going through getting their ducks in a row. We should be reaching out to the commission first week in January to try to set some time up for second, third week, and that way we can award accordingly.
Thank you.
Last commission in January, first commission meeting in February, somewhere along there.
Intermodal planning. Charles call. Hi, Charles.
Good morning. How are you all today? It's Shirley. 25, authorize payment to the Southern Rail Commission, which is composed of Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi, in the amount of $70,000 for the Mississippi Department of Transportation share of the fiscal year 23-24 operating and travel expenses. 26, request approval to add the projects shown in the attachment A to the fiscal year 2024 Airport Federal Matching Grant Program, which was approved by the Commission on August 8, 2023, with 23 page 954, and authorize the Executive Director to execute an airport development agreement for these projects. 27, request approval of the FY 2024 Airport Federal Matching Grant Program, which is awarded and listed in attachment B, and authorize the Executive Director to execute an airport development agreement for each project. These projects have been funded by the Federal Aviation Administration as part of the bipartisan infrastructure law. These matching funds will provide one half of the required local match for each of these FAA-funded airport improvement projects. Number 28, authorize the Executive Director to execute supplemental agreement number 1 for FY 22 Railroad Multimodal Project with Rella Creek Inland State Port for the listed project for the implementation of rail transloading facilities. This supplemental agreement will extend the grant agreement from December the 14th, 2023 to a revised completion date of December the 14th, 2024. Number 29, authorize the Executive Director to execute supplemental agreement number 1 for multimodal contract listed here with En Route Transit Commission. The supplemental agreement authorizing a maximum amount of not to exceed $49,017 in federal funds to support the project increased vehicle insurance costs. This will allow increase of $29,017 to cover the matching funds for the project's vehicle insurance. Number 30, request approval of FY 2023-2024 Public Transit Multimodal Transportation Improvement Funds project in the amount of $11,689 for Central Mississippi Incorporated, and authorize the Executive Director to execute an agreement for funding this project. This project and the allocation of these funds were approved by the Public Transit Multimodal Committee on May 13, 2021. Number 31, authorize the Executive Director to execute supplemental agreement number 1 for the multimodal contract number listed with Sunflower Humphrey County's Progress Incorporated. This supplemental agreement authorizes a maximum of not to exceed $29,689 in federal funds for capital costs. This will allow an increase of $19,689 to cover the matching funds for project vehicles.
Ms. Sherman.
Thank you.
Thank you. Administrative Services, Barton.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Number 32, ratify and approve payment of the accounts payable in the amount of $68,614,916.18 for the periods of December 6th and December 13th of 2023. Number 33, approve the payroll docket for the period of December 1st through December 15th of 2023, not to exceed the sum of $5 million, plus statutory withholding, state match, fringe, and employee authorized deductions. Number 34, ratify and approve the commissioners and executive directors' salaries and expenses for an aggregate amount of $17,375, plus statutory withholding, state match, fringe, and employee authorized deductions for the periods of December 6th and December 13th of 2023. Number 35, in accordance with the Alice G. Clark Mississippi Lottery Law, authorize the executive director to issue a requisition for funds from the Lottery Proceeds Fund, which is administered by the Department of Finance and Administration, that are necessary for expenditures on lottery projects for the period of December 1st through December 31st of 2023. Number 36, request the authority to purchase from the following agency contract. Number 37, request the authority to advertise for the following agency contracts for the period beginning at commission approval through December 31st of 2024. Number 38, request the authority to advertise for the following agency contracts for the period of June 1st of 2024 through May 31st of 2026. Number 39, request the authority to extend the following agency contracts for the period of January 1st through June 30th pending DFA approval. Number 40, request authority to extend the following agency contracts for the period of January 1st through December 31st of 2024. And number 41, request the authority to award the successful vendor on the bid that was received December 5th of 2023.
41, how many tractors are we renting?
I believe I'll have to look at that and get back to you.
You should know it before you come, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
You really should.
20.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Legal, Dan Smith.
Authorize and request the Office of the Attorney General to file suit and hire any expert witnesses deemed necessary to pursue a claim against Iron Horse Investment Company doing business as Conan Transport and Wang, Hank, Quang, Gwynn, and any other responsible parties for damage to the bridge on I-59 southbound at exit 118 in Jasper County. The amount of the claim is $1,005,757.03. 43 is authorize the executive director to enter into the following contract for legal services between the commission and Amanda Alexander in reference to a workers' compensation claim of Gregory Clem. The total amount of the contract will not exceed $30,000 at the normal hourly rates. And 44 is to request an executive session to discuss the settlement of 3 workers' compensation matters and a litigation matter as permitted by section 2541-7.
I'd like for you to go back on 42 and pronounce those names again, please.
You know, I practiced that several times and it still didn't come out right.
You did a good job nonetheless. Okay, thank you. Any questions? Thank you. Before we vote on the agenda, I'd like to see if anyone has anything willing to share. Brad, Brian, Lisa? How much money do we have a carryover for next year?
As of this morning, we have 190.
Okay. Okay. All right, do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion approved.
Motion's been made to approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, I'd like, Dan, are you gonna be handling this executive session? Why do we need an executive session?
We need an executive session, Mr. Chairman, in order to discuss the settlement of 3 workers' compensation matters and to discuss the matter of Hill Brothers and Liberty Mutual Insurance versus the commission.
One more time before you
One
go.
more time. Man, a lot,
Motion to go in for those
it's
items.
only been going on 10 years, so. All right, I need a motion to declare an executive session for the settlement of workers' compensation matters and possible settlement of a litigation matter. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, we'll take a 5-minute recess and be back no less than 5 minutes, please.